Good morning, everyone. Yay! I'm here with Daphne.
Hello there. How's it going?
Awesome. We are just. I think it's morning. Yeah, for half of the world, I guess. Yeah. It's morning for you too, right?
It's morning here. Yeah, it's about 11, so
Oh,
not
okay.
super early morning, but I'm not a morning person. So for me, I'm like it feels like it's 9 a.m.
Well, yeah, I think this is like a big difference between um, like being having your own company and working for people. Like I don't know why companies set the time between like early in the morning until like the time range because yeah,
Yeah.
because like
No. They force
yeah.
everyone to suddenly not be night owls anymore and 9 a.m. latest.
Yeah. So yeah, I am like in a new challenge, like now, like working in a company. But like when I was like on my own, yeah, I was like slowly shifting for the evening. Without even noticing it. Yeah, I remember like starting some days like before lunch, so I wake up, like work out, like doing my stuff, and then like I have a lunch, like drink a coffee, and then I go up to a late midnight. Yeah, yeah, life's crazy.
Yeah, no, I can be like very up and down with my waking up schedule. I remember I worked at a company in New York for a while and their starting time was 10. So I was like, "Yes, that's awesome." But then you can't take a lunch break. It's like 10 to 6, so it's like, "Okay, gotta work for 8 hours, I guess."
Whoa, like with no lunch break.
I mean, people did lunch, but it was like by their desks, you know? So it was like kind of sort of.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, crazy routine. But like this thing about, yeah, like before we start talking about like entrepreneuring and crazy schedules, you were talking that your family is they are Turkish. So at home, like you were like speaking Turkian, like
Turkish.
what? Oh, so you know Turkish too.
Yeah, so I speak Turkish because of my parents. My parents are both from Turkey, but my Turkish is definitely not at the level of my English or my Dutch because I've never lived in Turkey. So I've lived in the Netherlands, so I speak Dutch, and then used to live in America, so I speak English, American English, you could say. So yeah, but I guess yeah, I have a small foundation of Turkish that I speak with my family as well.
No, okay, yeah, yeah, um, yeah, it's really hard, right? Like from people like outside their home country, to like keep their values and yeah, like this is why like I see, like for example, like here in Brazil, like we have like a strong Japanese community. I think all of the other cultures, but I think the Japanese, like some of them, like really want to preserve a bit of their culture, so like they stay like in groups, yeah, Shakar just say hi, so hi. um
Hello. How's it going?
yeah. um yeah, but yeah, um yeah,
I didn't know
you
Brazil had a Japanese community. That's interesting.
the hugest Japanese community
Wow.
that is not in Japan, of course. It's in Brazil.
What's the history behind that?
So yeah, actually, like it's um yeah, soften it like a bit. Like early the 20th century, Brazil decided to bring in like a lot of people around the globe.
Hmm.
So you have like a huge influx of people coming to Brazil to build our country. So basically, like Italians, Portuguese, yeah, Portuguese like since ever, but like German and Japanese, they came. It was like actually like a pretty good deal. They were giving them like a piece of land and I guess like a goat, a cow. Like at the time, the point in time, like a cow was like a big thing. So yeah, like the government was like providing this to them, and then they just like come in and build our country. So yeah, the Japanese really took that opportunity, and yeah, that's
Damn.
how. Yeah, yeah, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I think around. Yeah, you can. Yeah.
What's that?
No, no, I think you want to add a comment. I
Oh,
don't
no,
know.
I just said I had no idea about that. So learning something new every day.
Yeah, yeah, it's yeah. Well, like I'm Brazilian, so I suppose I have to yeah know this stuff, because I have to get into university, and yeah, they history of Brazil is one of those things that yeah you need to know.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah.
mean, I have three nationalities, so I have like three histories to keep track of. And I don't do a good job. So I'm like, listen, I'm from all these places, but don't count on me for facts.
Awesome. I think this is a good part of being Brazilian for my entire life because it's just like one job, like
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
You
one
have one
mission.
job only.
Yeah. Um awesome. So yeah, like we passed a little bit. So yeah, we should I think we should start, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. Yeah, let's do it. So yeah, like yeah, I know you said to me that you stood like philosophy, but
Mhm.
like you don't need to be like you answer this like philosophically. Like
Okay.
yeah, good morning, Florian. I yeah, you can see me, but I can. Yeah, Shakar. Like people are commenting here at the side. Um,
Where is everyone commenting? Is it on the event?
Yes. So people comment here, but they also appear in the post.
Wow.
So yeah, like this StreamYard, like I'm always advocating for its platform, like without even noticing it. But it is the only one that I used. But I'm not pretending to change it because it's quite kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, like you have like the studio and the comments at the side. So yeah.
Oh yeah, I
Um,
see it now. I opened LinkedIn first and then it started playing our video and I was like, "Oh no, got to close that."
yeah, it's awful. Yeah, it's horrible. I know. Yeah. But yeah, there's like the comments here, and actually, like there's like banners that you can pop in the screen as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's super cool. Let's just like take this. Yeah.
Yeah, I did a recording with another copywriter, Terry Schilling, I think last week or 2 weeks ago. And we did a similar thing where like we took key phrases and put them on a banner and it was like, ooh.
Ooh. Yeah, it's amazing for a call to action, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so buy now. And yeah.
Yeah, also like just for key takeaways, like, key lessons and learnings, things like that. But also a call to action, like you said.
Yeah. Yeah, awesome. So yeah, like I know you are like yeah, let's get back.
Do it.
Yeah. So I know you stood philosophy, but you can answer this like whatever you wanted. But who is Daphne? Like, who are you? And as a person, professionally speaking, whatever. Like, open. Yeah, we can do like this philosophy as well. Like,
Well, I mean, whether or not we do it philosophically, I think it'll be philosophical either way.
yeah.
So, who's Daphne? Yeah, gosh, I don't know. Well, I guess I'll start with the basics for people who don't know me. My name is Daphne. I was born right outside of Amsterdam in the Netherlands. I have Turkish parents, and I spent half my life in the US, moved to California as a child, moved back to Amsterdam, moved to New York after that for university, and then I was living in New York City for 5 years. So most of my time has been split between the US and Amsterdam. So I guess those would be my sort of, if we're talking about who's Daphne on a national identity sense, you could say Dutch, Turkish, and American. But yeah, I always get asked, oh, do you feel more Dutch, Turkish, or American? And I just say I take the best of all three, hopefully, and make that who I am. But yeah, I guess also I'm a writer, and I think some of you probably already know that from my LinkedIn. I've kind of been writing ever since I was a little kid. I started journaling in a diary at a young age. And then after that, I studied philosophy, as you mentioned, Plinio. So basically, I just wrote essays for a living. But then after I graduated, I was like, what am I good at? What do I like doing? And the answer was still writing. So I learned how to write for, digital marketing and social media. So that sort of became more of my profession. I was a content manager for lots of various organizations. And then at the same time, I think I'm also just an all-around creative. I'm a singer. I'm an actor. I used to be a stand-up comedian. So I have a lot of creative energy, and I love doing new things and learning new things. And I take a lot of what I've learned from different disciplines and creative fields and apply it to my work. And I think I never expected to become an entrepreneur or found this company Laurel Leaf, but I think everything I've done has sort of led to that. And, I guess there was like only one option. So this is the option right now. So what I do right now is I run my copywriting and content agency. And I take everything I've learned from everything I've ever done and, try to make it the best as it can possibly be. So,
Yeah, like you should sing a song, that
oh
would
no,
be
no,
like something, yeah,
I need
really
10
cool.
glasses of wine before I do that.
Yeah, okay. So how was it? Like how did you know that, okay, like this is time to open up my agency? And it has like a unique name, like a Laurel Leaf. Like I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but yeah, like what is the origin of the name? I
Yeah,
don't know
so
if there's.
Laurel is actually so Daphne, my name, it's the Turkish version of the Greek name Daphne, which is Daphne. And in the mythology, basically, she becomes a laurel tree due to, some events. She asks her father for help. He turns into a laurel tree. So we put laurel leaves on a lot of dishes in Turkey. And everyone's like, oh, it's the Daphne leaf. So that's where the origin of the company name comes from. But, I also like the idea of like a new beginning, a new chapter, and, the sort of, layers and metaphors with trees and nature, things like that. So that's a little bit behind the name. And I think, yeah, how did I know I wanted to start the company? Well, as I mentioned, I had a bit of a corporate background, but I always wanted to try freelancing. So in 2021, I started freelancing, and then I had a lot of clients. I had a lot of projects. I became friends with other people who ran agencies of their own. So I decided, why not give it a shot? So 2023, Laurel Leaf went live, went public. Well, not public in that sense, but you know what I mean.
You
So
are
yeah,
almost there. You are almost there.
yeah, IPO soon.
Got it. So, yeah, just this another like quick question, like, for you, like, what is the big difference between doing your own thing, like by yourself, and now like being a leader, because like being a leadership role, it means I don't know, like you add a little bit, right? And you have like to not do one of the things that you were used to, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question. When you're on your own, you really don't have to think about anybody else but yourself. You have your clients, you do your work, you deliver all the revenue that you make, all the, rates that you charge, those are yours. You don't have to worry about, making anyone else happy except, of course, your clients and yourself. But when you have a team, there's a lot more to think about. You not only have to make sure your clients are satisfied, you have to make sure that you're treating your team right. I hear so many stories of, new founders just kind of tossing things on, to their teams without thinking about whether or not they have the bandwidth, the interest, or the passion about, the project that they're doing. So I make sure to keep very clear communication with my team members, check their availability, make sure that, they have the bandwidth, because we all know burnout never leads anywhere good. So I try to make sure that I kind of prioritize their well-being as much as I possibly can, while also making sure the quality of the work is there, that the client is happy. So there's so many more moving parts to it, which, as a first-time founder, you have to learn that through doing it. No one prepares you for it. But I try to make sure, I bring my values as a person into, who I am as a leader as well. So always, leading with like connection, communication, growth, curiosity, and then sprinkle a bit of fun in there too. So I think, yeah, if you start with your values and, who you are and what you value, then bring that into, who you are as a leader as well. I think that's probably a good starting point.
And what is the hardest part? What is being the hardest part?
Well, the hardest part, I think, in one sense, it's making sure that you're doing the best job you possibly can to make sure both sides, client and team, are as happy as they possibly could be without also sacrificing your own well-being. So I think the hardest part was just having to get used to that, the fact that you have a lot more responsibilities, and also the fact that, yes, you have your team sort of fulfilling some of the work and the delivery, but at the end of the day, your name is still on the company. So my name is still, I'm representing Laurel Leaf. So whatever happens, it's still, you're the one accountable for it at the end of the day.
Yeah, like ensuring like quality and well-being, because like like you can find someone else like to do the work, but the signature is still yours, right?
Yeah,
And I
exactly.
think that's they are paying for the signature, for the quality,
Exactly. And like, I look at everything that's written and published, so that it always runs through me. So I make sure to, keep my signature sort of running through all the work that we do. But yeah, it's, you got to be okay with having that sort of accountability and responsibility on your plate.
Awesome. Cool. So let's learn about your signature. So about the subject. So what are these 5 essential elements
Yes.
for writing copy that sells?
Yeah, of course. It's so funny because, you mentioned signature, and it's just interesting that, we're all specializing in all these different subjects and fields. So what seems so second nature to me and so easy to me might not be so second nature to someone else. So that's why I'm really glad we're doing this. And, we have so much to learn from each other. But for me, it's almost so simple because I just do this work so often. So yeah, I'm happy to share, some of my essential elements of a, effective landing page. So yeah, would you want me to start with the first part of that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And as you said, like second nature, like I am like an engineer. I have like an analytical background. I
Yeah.
shun as much as I can from the creativity part of it.
Yeah.
So when you told about like it's second nature and some struggle, like I am that really resonate with me, So
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Well, I think before I get into the actual elements on the landing page, so I have 5 elements you need on your landing page. But before you do any of that, what's super essential, and you might have heard this quote before, but it's copy isn't written, it's assembled. So what that means is you have to do a lot of research on your ideal customer. So a lot of people kind of skip that part. They go straight into, okay, what's a product? What's a service? What's cool about it? But your landing page or any page is never going to work if you don't have a really deep understanding of your clients. So, you know, a lot of the work that I do with my clients, especially recently, is actually making sure that we create that research up top. So, emailing their prospective customers, their leads, their email lists, sending a custom survey so that we understand precisely what their challenges are, what their biggest roadblocks are, some of the things and fears, hesitations that might be holding them back, what they're anxious about, and then what their desired state is. What are their hopes? What would their lives look like if they had those challenges solved for them? So before you do anything, you have to not be afraid of asking your customers those questions, of talking to them, because you can't write anything, nothing before you do that. So I want to stress the importance of doing your research, because without your research, there's nothing. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I couldn't agree more.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and then let's say you have that, you've done your research, that's when you can start writing your landing page. So then I follow a basic outline. So the first would be a clear hero. So sometimes a hero of a homepage and a landing page can be a bit different. If you're sending a landing page through, like, paid ads, acquisition, things like that, your hero can be something that like grabs the attention. If you're writing a homepage, I would say your hero should say what you do and who it's for. So you don't want to leave any questions. So I make sure to make that hero as clear as possible. If we're on a landing page, it can be a little bit more, of something like, 99% of blank are, doing this, when really that's actually going to hurt you. So something maybe a little more, alarming, you could say. But I think for any hero, you want to make sure that you make it clear what do you do, who it's for, and then have people think, okay, I know enough to sort of keep going. And then the second element
No, no,
is,
yeah, yeah. Before we jump to the second, actually, I want to just come back a little bit in the previous two. Um, um, yeah, like starting from the hero, like what is a hero part? Like when the hero starts and when the hero ends, and why people call it hero though? And yeah, like a little bit more like about like
yeah. Well, I think it's called a hero because it's the first thing people see, right? So it's like the first impression, you almost have to rely on that before you can entice or intrigue your user into looking at more or keep on scrolling. So I guess it's a hero in the sense of the word. What is a hero? Something that saves us, something that, at the end of the day, we can depend on. It's trustworthy. It always swoops in at the right time. And I guess you could say it's also a hero for your customers' problems. So I guess in every sense of the word, that's why we call it a hero. Now, this is my interpretation. I don't know if this is the official, Oxford Dictionary definition, but that's, I think, yeah, my copywriters or writers initial interpretation. I've actually never looked up the real definitions.
Yeah, it doesn't need to. So the hero is before scrolling.
Yeah, so the hero appears first. So before you scroll, that's your hero.
Okay.
And you can have some things above the fold. So there's this thing called above the fold and below the fold. So below the fold is what you see once you start scrolling. You can have a section that's not the hero, that's above the fold. But usually, let's say, you land on a website, a landing page, what's up top is the hero.
Okay. Yeah. I think a reason for the person to stay, basically. Yeah, that's why it's the hero.
Yeah, it's
Often.
your kind of one chance to, make a good impression.
Yeah, and I think it's really good to call it the hero, because in one word you are signalizing like the importance of these elements. Like it's the hero. Like how you're treating your hero, the hero of your page, right?
Yeah, if your hero sucks, you're in trouble.
Basically it. And one thing about the survey, because as I said, like I couldn't agree more, but um, I've heard like this is like from a book a old time ago, but I know a lot of people that fall into this trap. They say that, hey, everybody's saying that researching is very important, but it's also there's like a research saying that most of research leads to nothing. So like most companies, like what they end up doing is like, okay, like this research is super important, but and then they find no insight. Like they have like like they buy all like investing all those surveys. Like they spend a lot of times and weeks and analyzing and talking to, and then they come up with this piece of content that, okay, so what I do with that, I don't know, like, yeah, of course I have like a framework or something right there, but I think that just saying like do the research, I think for a lot of people, maybe it's not enough, like maybe like they will start like a question, and they are headed for trouble, because the majority of them will not find any insight. So like how to avoid that?
Well, I think it depends on the questions you're asking, right? So you want to make sure that you encourage them to elaborate, and not just say, oh, I'm struggling with X, Y, or Z, but actually talk about why they're struggling with it. So actually get them to open up a bit more, because the important thing is you want to speak their language, right? Someone can say, I'm struggling because I don't have enough free time. And then it's like, okay, but what does free time mean to you? Like, what would you be able to do if you had more free time? And then they say, oh, I could, take my kid to school. So you want to get as specific as possible, because you don't want to use generic umbrella terms. You want to use that, quote of, oh, take your child to school in the mornings, like having time for that. That's what free time means. So actually getting as specific as possible, rather than just, settling for the generic answer, because free time can mean so many different things to different people. So actually getting the real feedback and always digging deeper and asking, so what, what does that mean? So yeah, really kind of taking the extra step. And then also, a lot of companies do this research and then they post things like, oh, biggest trends in, marketing. And it's like, no one cares. Like,
yes, no one cares.
well, like, don't tell us what our problems are, solve our problems. So, from the research, you want to take a problem and you can create an entire blog or ebook based off that one problem. don't just collect the answers and then let us know, actually go into it and like go into the implications. And I know some companies, they even have like data analysts on their team. So people who are really like good at analyzing data, so that you can go beyond the surface in your content. So I would say deep questions and then also deep content. So content that focuses on one particular issue or one particular solution, not just the wide bird's eye view angle that really doesn't help anyone.
Yeah, and like I really like when you say like being specific, and also I think the importance of like having a copywriter or someone that like we will use that. I don't know that they need to apply the survey, but at least being a person like to validate it, because what you say is like super important. Like by the end of the day, like this will enter into your copy.
Yeah.
So like, you know, like having a copywriter to understand what you are questioning is super important, because I know like some examples of people like doing like research without realizing that this is going to like the purpose of that is to enhance your copy, and they end up like with those trends that you said, right? And because they don't make like the follow-up questions. So the prospect says, oh, I like free time. So like they input free time and they go to the next question. If a copywriter were doing like the research, they would say, yeah, but what free time means, right?
Exactly. Like you really have to have, like you said, someone take a look and ask, okay, are these questions enough? And also get an understanding of the industry first as well, because a lot of industries have like different misconceptions or, you know, myths and things like that. Like I was recently working with a coach and we were creating a survey for her sort of, you know, potential clients. And I mean, coaching is like super fast growing these last few years. So there's a lot of sort of cliches that have come about as well. And it's almost become, you know, not a joke, but there are certain elements of it that are parodied right now. So you definitely you want to be somewhat attuned to the things that are going on in that industry so that you can ask questions to help that particular client stand out. So I said, you know, what are you seeing recently in other coaches, or, you know, are there any phrases that they use that make you not want to work with them? You know, and what sort of phrases, you know, or values would you need to see in someone to want to work with them? So also having that industry awareness as well.
Yeah, the quality of our questions, like brings a lot of insights.
Yeah. One of the questions was, okay, what sort of challenges are you facing that you hope someone, you know, might be able to help you with? And then after that, it's what would your life look like if you did solve these challenges? So really going a step deeper.
Cool. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, that answers like a lot. Cool. So the second element.
Well, I think this actually connects to what we were just talking about. So the first one was the hero. So grab the attention, say what you do and who it's for. Okay. Next, paint the picture of your audience's struggle. So because you've done the research, you can now go ahead and align with your audience's pain points using their language so that it doesn't seem like you're like telling them their lives are, you know, they're struggling. But because you use their language, it doesn't come off as like, you know, you're telling them things are going wrong, because you don't want to come off as patronizing. That's why you want to use their language. And I think it also, when you align with pain points and struggles, you kind of also want to be in tune with the way you phrase them. If you're talking about highly sensitive topics, like let's say burnout or, you know, emotional stress, you maybe want to soften your language a little bit. So you don't want to come off as accusatory. So in those instances, I would say, you know, your life may be looking like this. You might be feeling these things instead of saying, you feel like shit, you feel down, you know, so that you can use here where you don't want to come across as like, you know, someone basically telling them they're doing everything wrong. You want to empathize. So yes, you want to paint the picture of their challenges, but you also, this is where tone comes in and where you have to be very careful. So
Yeah.
that's one caveat.
One thing that I was thinking is that when you are doing like your thing, you know, like you are running the company, you are seeing this the same problem like over. It's like it's really easy for you to have like these inside views, and then all this jargon like get into like your head, and you start like talking it like again and again and again and again. So like when you say like paint the picture, like talk to the user point of view,
Mm-hmm.
it's like sometimes like it's really like detach from yourself, and think about the person that is just starting the journey,
Yeah.
and not like who you are at this exact moment.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to like think about it. Struggle is not a fun thing, right? We don't love struggling as a species. So it's, you know, you get told so many times, oh, tell them their struggles. Well, it's like also be mindful of that. Like, as, yeah, humans, like to experience those emotions, those are very real emotions. So definitely having that bit of care is super important.
Yes, for sure. um yeah, because yeah, you want to convert, right? Yeah,
Mhm.
otherwise the ocean.
Yes. Does that bring us to number 3?
Okay.
Great. So once you've done that, start positioning yourself as a solution. So what does that entail? That means list a couple other solutions and why they might not have worked. Then introduce your product or service. List the features and benefits, go deeper and be specific with your benefits. Like I said, always ask, so what? Um, and then, yeah, that's number 3.
Yeah, like there's like a concept. It's like I don't know if I've heard of it. Like there's like this levels of marketing. So like I think that that's the time you need to understand your competition, like to really put yourself like really to really stand out, right?
Yeah, exactly. You want to basically, and we asked this in our questionnaire as well, like what have you been using, what's worked about it, and what hasn't, so that you kind of know as well, like the drawbacks of the other solution, so that when you're writing your copy, you can eliminate them, right? So it's like a mental process of elimination, basically.
Yeah, like because there's like one example, like for example, like weight loss. Like the first person that sell like a weight loss like supplement, I think they, if they say just like, yeah, you are going to lose weight, that I think will be like enough to convince people like, oh, amazing, like I'm gonna lose it, yeah, I want to buy that. But like right now, like if you say like, hey, I have this cool thing that you will lose weight, it's just like, you know, because there's like a lot of different diets and different programs and different promises. Like the market is so much more like evolved,
Mm-hmm.
that you really need to be more specific about. I'm talking about like the lose weight because I think it's one of the biggest industries
Yeah.
that earn like a lot of money just selling like info product. Like I was in the info product for a couple of times. So like in the info product industry, like losing weight is just like the top category.
Yeah. And I mean, weight loss pills and supplements, I don't want to get into the ethics of that. But if we're talking about purely just marketing, through landing pages, yeah, you can't just say, here's our product, you'll lose weight. You got to go through these sort of elements and position your product as a solution. So, you've tried hours on the treadmill, you've done the diets, and that got you nowhere. Here's a pill, what do you have to lose? So also kind of going off of these like psychological triggers of like, this is their life now, they don't have to keep using these supplements if, it doesn't work, but at least they can try it. What'll they lose if they try it, except for $30. So there's certain little things that you can sort of do, like remind people of, their current situation hasn't worked, what do they have to lose by using your solution? Especially when
they might end up dead, but yeah.
Right. Let's say we're not talking about weight loss supplements, something like that, something a bit more ethical.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah. Yeah, I got it. Cool.
Yeah.
So like the hero, and then you paint the picture like with empathy, not for them like to feel down, but like to connect with them.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start introducing your product to differentiate.
Yes, exactly. So you list off other solutions and then introduce your product as the solution.
Yes, and the fourth, there's more.
There's more, yeah. So number 4 is show them the transformation. So let them see what life would look like with your solution. And then the second element of that would be social proof. So show real life examples of, what it led for other people, what it caused and what it helped them with.
Okay, so I want your input here, because a lot of people say about like testimonials, but it's really hard, like how to get them, like how to get your own testimonials, like how to make a person like to record a video and send it to you, like I don't know, like written like videos, like what's the difference, and what is the step by step, because it's a little bit challenging here, right?
So there's a couple things. So let's say your clients and customers fairly well, and you have a relationship with them. It's about relationships and how close your relationship is. So if you have a pretty good, deep relationship, you can go ahead and ask. You're not going to get anything without asking for it, right? So that's step number 1. If you have a broader audience, let's say, they're just an email list, you don't know them very well, I would create an offer. So, say submit your testimonial and get a chance to win, 3-6 months of this for free or something. So you got to incentivize people a little bit. But again, it's an opportunity to create a deeper connection with your customers.
Okay. Yeah, that makes like a lot of sense. And like, I know I saw some landing pages like with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of testimonials. So I think there isn't like a limit for testimonials. But like, what is like at least the minimum? Because I think just one testimonial, I think is not enough to convince people. Like,
No.
So like, how many are you aiming here?
Well, I think you want to be strategic about that, right? You want to have testimonials that sort of showcase different benefits or unique value propositions or unique selling points that your product or service might have. So every testimonial should communicate something different. Maybe it's a different pain point that's solved, or maybe a different industry. So you want to make sure that your testimonials are actually strategic for your business objectives, not just 100 quotes of someone saying the same thing essentially. So there needs to be value in each of them. As to how many that is, I can't say. I do think 100 testimonials on a page, that almost makes me want to read none. So I would say, 3 to 5, depending on like how big your product or service is. But again, there's no right or wrong answer, but there is a strategic way of doing it.
Yeah, I think like one for like at least like one benefit, I guess. Like, so like if you have like three things that you want to show, but
yeah. You want to show maybe the outcome in one, what your product or service led to, and then another testimonial that describes the experience of working with you. So many different things you can touch on if that you want to communicate about your product or service.
I don't know, like, do you think there is like a difference between video and written testimonials? Like should people aim for like video testimonials, or written ones are good too? Because I know like there's like especially like if you are new, like some people might be skeptical about, because it's much more easy just like to like go to the Dolly, like find like create a face and create something and put out there like this is completely dishonest, but people are skeptical. People are really skeptical. So
yeah, I mean, I think inherently, having someone speaking on video about your product or service can foster a bit more trust. But then again, who's to say you didn't pay that person $100 and send them that script, right? So, I don't go looking at testimonials on websites and thinking, that's probably a lie. They're fewer and further in between, I think. And it also depends like on the types of media that your customers prefer to consume, to be honest. And you can track those. You can see how long people spend on the testimonial section. You can see if those video testimonials you are posting are getting clicks. So you can track that.
Yeah, I think like if the person's going to be skeptical, like they're going to be skeptical anyway.
Yeah.
But I think that like getting the testimonials, I think it's good because you not only like enhance your copy like with a testimonial, but you also gonna receive like a great insights about the customer and how they talk about your product. So
and also like let's say you have a written testimonial and you're like, well, I don't trust that. Put the customer's name and like company or something, and if that person really wants to verify it, they can reach out to that person and say, hey, I saw you left this testimonial, is this real? If someone's going to go to those lengths. But I don't think you can find loopholes in each format.
Yes. No, I know people that even Upwork, like they are offering jobs like, hey, I talk good about your product.
Mm-hmm.
There are people selling this. So like if you want to fake it, like like you can fake a word, like you can fake a video. Yeah.
Always a way, yeah.
Yeah, but as you said, like I think the best way is like having like something like really genuine. I think it's way better. Like it's for
Yep.
sure. Cool. And the last one.
The last one. This should be clear to everyone. End with a clear call to action. Tell people what you want them to do or what they should do and what they should expect once they do that. So a lot of landing pages and websites still miss this.
Yeah, they say that this is like super amazing like elements. Like some of them say that the call to action should be on the hero part of it. Some say that the call to action should be like everywhere, so they have like 10 buttons on the landing page.
Mhm.
And there are some that you really need to like go deep into the content to find it.
Yeah.
Like how you should approach and how you like approach this CTA challenge.
Yeah, another good question. So, yeah, you want to put it in a few places strategically. If you leave it till the very end, you're really relying on someone going through the whole page and then clicking it. So, yes, I would always put one in the hero up top. If someone's like, you know what, like I'm already familiar with this, I just want to click it, let's go. And then I would place it after certain sections, like, listing the pain points or empathizing with their challenges and saying, I'm ready to just solve these after listing out some of the features and benefits. But not going overboard. You don't want it after like every bullet point, right? Because that's so aggressive. So just a few easy touch points, I would say.
Okay, okay. Um,
But
um,
definitely ending with it. Like, don't just leave the page with nothing there. So that's why I ended with that point.
yeah. And this is like I remember like the first cop audits that I listened to you. They say like, hey, I'm doing the copy audit of Coca-Cola, and there isn't a call to action here. I'll probably like put something. But you said that, like since it's Coca-Cola, like they are much more worried about like having information for investors and some, like institutional stuff. But I don't know, so every page has to be like a call to action. Like every page has to, because like has is a mean to some other play other place, or do you believe that yes, there are some pages that are kind of, like the content is there because the content has to be there, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's all about making things as easy as possible for your end user, right? Like, you don't want to make things difficult for them if you have a goal. If your goal is like CTA signups, put those CTAs where it's appropriate. And at the end of the page, it's always appropriate. So, someone's on a different service page or solutions page, and, they can click back or click the small button. But if they're at the end of the page, you're just making it easier for them to, do the action you want them to do in a non-aggressive way.
Yeah. So I think like every page needs to have like a purpose, right?
Mm-hmm.
Regardless if it's like institutional or like really aggressive. Of course they're gonna have, but even like a homepage, like they should think about it. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Awesome. So and then like great, like our conversation, like we are almost heading to the end.
Yeah.
So like super cool, but like I guess like some people that are listening here, they maybe want to know more, like how to implement, how to start, like how can they contact you, and like the what do you offer, etc.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, everyone can reach me on LinkedIn. I read and reply to most messages. If someone just has like a urgent question or they, want something answered, I'll reply. I also offer free homepage copy audits. So if you want some feedback for your homepage, we can go over that together, or I can record a video as well. And besides that, I mean, yeah, I run Laurelleaf. We do copy and content strategy. So, from small startups to like larger enterprise clients. And yeah, we kind of help, with the customer research and then positioning and messaging, as well as, writing website copy, and then just content for social media, blogs, emails, things like that. So because we help with all the upfront research, they basically have like, a wealth of data and information they can use to create content from. So that's what we're doing for our clients this upcoming year. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much chronically online. So if you want to reach me, you'll find a way.
Awesome, amazing. Yeah, especially the research strategy that people can really struggle to get, like the not only a lot of information, but like meaningful information, right? I think this is the most important.
Yeah, exactly.
So like the like looking at the chain of goods, like to keep things rolling. Like if you have like 3 people that you can indicate like to talk to me as well, like this would be like awesome.
Of course.
Yeah, like if you have though.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I want to connect you to people who are also, active on LinkedIn and creating and kind of want to get, their voice out there and heard. First one would be a wonderful lady named Barbara Porkuchova. She's actually become a friend of mine through LinkedIn. She's a ghostwriter, content strategist, and she also does a lot of really cool things in the health and wellness space. And I think she also wants to focus on offering retreats at some point. I know she's also a yoga teacher. So yeah, I've, connected with her now for almost 2 years. And we started off by just doing calls every now and then. And we actually met up in person. So she's great. She's super nice to talk to. Someone I connected with recently, he's a web designer and developer, Kuram Ansari. He's been creating really cool content about, website best practices as well, but more from a design and dev standpoint. And then the last guy would be Roman Pikolenko. He's also a ghostwriter. I think, you might be familiar with him because he's been blowing up. And yeah, just connect with him for really cool ghostwriting insights.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I'll definitely talk to them.
Yeah, and I can, send over names if you want over email.
Yeah. Like I think after our call, we can. Yeah, you can share the links. But yeah, thank you very much. So the final considerations, the good part. So are you ready?
I don't know let's be philosophical. What is ready?
I'm ready to sing the song.
Yeah.
Really, really quick. So one color.
One color, pink.
One city.
Istanbul.
Okay, the capital of right? I don't know.
Istanbul? Turkey? That's Ankara.
Oh, okay. My geography is not that bad. Istanbul is where is Istanbul?
That's in Turkey as well. It's just a major city.
Yeah. Awesome. One philosopher.
One philosopher. Heidegger.
Which one's the Heidegger?
Martin Heidegger. He's like a existential philosophy. He talks about like ways of being.
Ways of being.
Yeah, like phenomenology, existentialism.
Cool.
Yeah.
One Harry Potter.
One Harry Potter character. Ron Weasley.
Awesome. Copywriting reminds you of what?
Storytelling.
Storytelling, yes. Will AI replace humans?
Not yet.
Not yet. Is yeah, yeah, okay. One word that defines you.
Ooh. Energetic.
Energetic. Cool. Um, so yeah, that was it definitely. Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you for
Cool.
having me.
Yeah, that was amazing. I will like end the live, but you can stay here. I will just like say bye to those that were.
Bye, everyone. Thank
Yeah,
you for
bye everyone.
watching.
Thank you. Bye bye.